Hello and welcome to House and Home Chat, Real Estate Real Talk with Dena and Chris. I'm Dena Mathis.
And I'm Chris Breitenbach. Hey, today later in our program, during the Real Talk segment, we're going to be chatting about inventory levels that we currently have in the area. Before we get to that, today we have our guest, Lindsey McLaughlin. She is the CEO of Optimized Senior Living, and we are going to chat today about senior living options.
Lindsey, thank you for joining us today. Welcome to our program.
Thank you.
We're really happy to have you. So why don't you just go ahead and start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself and Optimized Senior Living.
Okay. Lindsey McLaughlin. I'm born and raised in the area, married to John, who's also active in the business.
Okay.
We've got...
It's a family business,
It is definitely a family business. We got 4 little kiddos.
Okay.
I love
Yeah. Yeah.
You're busy. Do they help too?
Sure. In a way. They love coming in. But yeah, I'm a nurse by trade. And
so nursing is in your background.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Okay. Well, that's great. So how did you get started in this business then?
Yeah, it's kind of a twofold thing. So the first big part of our why is we were putting my grandma into assisted living. We knew that was coming, and I started making some phone calls and recognized that there just wasn't a lot of transparency out there. And then when she was in assisted living, we saw a lot of different things that were happening and had some issues. And we're like, you know what, like we can do things differently. Let's do things differently. We want to be transparent. We don't want to play these games. And so that was the one part. The other part then was we were into real estate investing, and we had heard of this concept out west. And we're like, oh my gosh, like this is like what's needed. And yeah, so it all kind of just rolled in together, and God made it all work.
It's a very personal choice as to, you know, when you're transitioning a loved one, I'm sure. So that coupled with, I guess, your real estate investing is what brought you here then.
Yeah.
What a great marriage of talents, right? And talents and passions.
Yeah.
So this is a different model of care than probably we are used to in our Cincinnati market. So share with us a little bit about what this is all about, what people can expect, and actually what you do. Why are you different?
Yeah, sure. So it's considered residential assisted living.
Okay.
So they're actual homes, larger homes. So our homes are either 14 or 16, accommodate 14 to 16 residents. And we have basically like one model of care as opposed to separate levels of care. So once one resident moves in, they get a flat peace of mind, all-inclusive pricing, and really we do as much as we possibly can for that resident. And the idea is once they move in with us, their family, they're at home, their new home, and you know, we want them to spend their duration with us, and we will just keep accommodating to them as opposed to them accommodating to us and moving to memory care, moving here, moving there. We will just do as much as we possibly can to keep them in one place, and you know, that just helps with continuity of care, and yeah, it makes them feel more comfortable and gives families peace of mind as well.
That's really different than what most of us are used to when we are thinking about these types of, you know, places and transitions. And definitely looking around this place, it's beautiful what you've done here. And it is very much a home.
It is definitely right. Yeah. We're sitting here in the dining room, and we're next to the kitchen, and there's a huge family room area and a dining area, and then several bedrooms, or I'll call them suites, so several suites. And so it's really like living in your own home with other people.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Group living. Yeah, I think we compared it to like a sorority house.
Sorority house.
It's like a big giant sorority house, except that everything is much more beautiful than you would find in your sorority home.
No empty beer cans laying around.
I mean, this place is gorgeous. It's furnished, you know, just top notch. It's absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
And I love the feel. I love the feel that the resident, and you can just see it. The residents can come in and, you know, plop themselves down on their favorite couch and curl up, and that's their spot, right? And you actually encourage that as part of the transition, is bringing a part of home with you.
Yes, we do. Obviously, like in their rooms, you want their room to feel like home upon move-in, and make that as comfortable for them as possible, but also in the common space. When you go to a lot of other big facilities and you have sitting rooms all over, but nobody's really sitting in them all the time. So our idea is we want to encourage socialization and encourage people to come out into the family room and make that you come out of your room and you go and sit and hang out with others. But what do you do at your home? Like, you've got your favorite spot, right?
Yeah.
Like, kid, you better not sit in dad's spot.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, you don't even have to put a name on the chair. And that's how it is at Optimized, where you come in, you'll see the chairs around and everybody knows that's their chair, you know, but it makes it more comfortable to go out there and be there as opposed to sitting in the living room furniture that your mom never let you sit in.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's how it was in my house. That's the living room, but don't live in it.
Yes.
This is the family room. Be family, come, be comfortable.
Exactly. And you had mentioned something about encouraging people to bring their own furnishings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They can fill the room with all their own things. We'll hang everything for them. You know, we can help out with furniture too if a family is in need of that, but we definitely want them to make it feel comfortable for them. And then, like I said, they can bring their own recliner to sit in that in the common space.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You'd also mentioned different levels of care. Can you explain how that works? Somebody may need more assistance than others, and how do you go about accommodating their different levels?
Yep. So it is just one flat price when they come in, and we are very, you know, just open about that.
Well, that's a different concept too.
Yeah. Yes.
That is, the price is what the price is. We're not going to change it on you while you're there. And yeah, it's really like, as the needs change, the price doesn't. So yeah, somebody might come in, might not needing a whole lot, but maybe by the end, they're needing a Hoyer lift or 2-person transfer, help with brushing their teeth, to incontinence care, kind of everything in between, and we keep it the same price regardless of what that is. So that's how there's no levels of care. They come as they are, and we adjust.
And just to lend to your point about transparency.
Yeah.
It's all consistent.
Yep.
And you know what to expect coming in.
Yep. Yeah. So that's another difference though too. Like, even though it's assisted living, I think we do more than that typical assistance. Sometimes, you know, again, we do the incontinence care. We'll do checks and changes every 2 hours through the night. We'll help with feeds. Yeah. Again, we want to treat them as our family, and what do they need? Let's do it.
Do it all. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm going to back us up just a little bit because, you know, there's several people, whether it's themselves or whether it's their family, that wonder, you know, when is it the time to consider making this sort of transition and move?
Yeah.
What should they be looking for, or what helps in making the decision to start to do their research?
That is a great question, especially because ending up in assisted living is nothing we ever think will happen to us, right? It's always, oh, that'll never happen to me. That's somebody else, until the day happens, and then it ends up being an emergency situation. It's what happens so often. Mom lives on her own, and then mom falls. Mom can't go home again. Oh my gosh, now what do we do?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a really common situation, and then everybody's in panic mode. So I would encourage people to just recognize that 85% of everybody ends up needing some kind of senior care eventually. Whether that's home
good
care,
to know.
Yeah,
Definitely
that's a high
good to know.
number. So whether it's home care or going somewhere, so just be open to learning about it, because it is a huge maze out there. There are a ton of resources. If you Google, there's going to be 1,000 resources come up. But there's some really great referral companies in the area, and they're advisors, and they help you through that journey. But also just to check out places and be open to learning about them, because it might just be that helping hand to somebody else too. I know in our networking groups, I'm always like, you know what, it might not be you, but your friend might be going through a hard time.
Right.
So hear what's out there, so you can say, hey, go check this place out.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And again, that's, I love this concept. I've done a lot of research, and I do love this concept. So it's great for people to know about this availability.
Yeah.
And I agree with you totally. And knowing that 85% of people are going to need help.
We're all gonna need, we all are in need or gonna need to watch a loved
Yeah.
one transition or help them transition at some
Or
point.
ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And I always say, if you don't have that plan in place and have done your research, then it's not your decision.
Right.
It becomes an emergency, and it becomes somebody else's decision, not yours.
Yep.
And I fully believe
Yeah.
as much as it can be the person's decision, because it's their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want it to be that way.
Yeah. So know what's out there ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the long-term care insurance piece too, right?
Yeah.
I'm a huge advocate for that. Again, we never
Yeah.
plan, we never think it's going to happen to
Yeah.
us, but I mean, my husband and I, we talk about it now. Like, let's go ahead and get that life insurance plan in place
Yeah.
so that our kids don't have to worry about it one
Thinking
day.
about that.
Do it as early
Yeah.
as possible,
Yeah.
because once you hit 50, it jumps up
It goes
really.
up.
It goes up considerably. I've looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anybody, Lindsay, that, I mean, who is the best candidate for this? Is there, and perhaps is there somebody that this is not a good fit for? It's kind of a twofold question there.
So who would be the best candidate? We, again, we serve a wide variety of people. We don't have like an age cutoff or anything like that. But really somebody who is wanting that personalized attention, wanting that hands-on care, and open communication and really being involved. We have
Right.
a lot of family involvement. And
Okay.
we encourage them to be involved and
That's
come
great.
and visit and be around. So I think that's important, but
It's a good fit for everybody.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, right?
I don't know,
It
that's
really
what it sounds
does.
like. It's hard to
It's a
say,
great
but,
consideration.
Yeah. So there's a lot of talk about helping to keep seniors active and keep them engaged. What are some of the things you do to help encourage that?
Yeah, so social engagement, like I said before, is the biggest piece for us. Wanting people out in the common space, around others, communicating with others. We do have activities where they do bingo. They do, our residents love bingo, but they do bingo. They'll help do baking things. They do crafts and activities. So we definitely have an active calendar with that, but it's also other stuff too, where because we have a low caregiver ratio and we're just more hands-on, that it's just sitting and, hey, you want to do your nails? Do you want
that's
to,
nice.
you want to read a book? Let's go out there and do a Bible study. You know, simple things like that that aren't structured and aren't on a calendar. But we want our caregivers to engage. You got downtime, engage with somebody, you know, be
So
involved.
you've got people here who are noticing and recognizing when somebody might need more socialization or might need some kind of a pick-me-up, it sounds like.
Yeah, we know our residents very well. So our caregivers, they're great at that. Like if somebody's wanting to spend too much time in their room, you know, that can cause a lot of depression and just feelings of isolation. So they encourage them like, come on out here. I want to see you and come and hold my hand. And but
That's sweet.
we had a personal trainer that was coming in. We're looking to bring that back now. I mean, there's a lot of things that are coming back now post-COVID.
Post-COVID, right,
Because
exactly.
we had a massage therapist coming in, chiropractor, personal trainer. They get their hair cut. You know, that's like an all-inclusive approach to our care as well. So, encourage walks outside and go and sitting out in the sun.
And the grounds are very pretty and
this
lovely
is
here
beautiful.
as well.
This is beautiful.
So why don't you tell our listeners and viewers where you're located and maybe a little bit more about, you know, how many people, you know, what your plans are for expansion, a little bit about that.
Sure, yeah. So we currently have 3 homes in Lebanon. Each
Okay.
home has accommodates 16 residents, mostly private rooms with private bathrooms. And then here in Mainville, we have 1 home that accommodates 14 residents. Again, mostly private rooms with bathrooms. And we are set to do another 3 buildings here in Mainville.
Okay.
And then by the end of the year, we'll be opening up in Kettering as well.
Okay.
And that'll be another house that'll accommodate 16 residents.
Nice.
So we'll see where it goes from there, but that's where we're at right now.
Lots
so
of growth.
Lebanon and Mainville right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that it's a family business.
Mhm.
Tell us who's involved in the business then.
Yeah. So my husband and I are part of the daily operations, and then my dad and brother actually help build the homes and are involved as well. And there's 3 other guys here at a boat at the Mainville location. They're all locally located. Is that what you say?
Yeah, we're good. That's good.
They live here nearby. So yeah, it's it's a different environment with that too. We're very
That's great.
hands-on.
Yeah.
So I always have a random, because my mind just goes and I have
love
these
it.
random curious
Okay.
thoughts. And I do think about my mother with this. My mother is not a dog person at all. So talk to me about pets. Do people bring their pets? What if somebody is pet aversive? Are there like homes that are pet free?
Yeah, so we don't allow residents to bring their pets with them.
Great, okay.
We've had lots of questions about that, and
Yeah.
that breaks some people's hearts, especially like if they say we have a cat, they can stay in the room. It's great, but at the end of the day, it's going to end up being the caregiver taking care of the animal.
Yeah.
We want our caregivers taking care of the loved ones that are here with us. So we don't allow pets to reside here. We have had a house dog before,
Okay.
but we had everybody agree before
Yeah.
bringing them in to be the house dog. But we do pet therapy in terms of like pets can come visit.
Okay.
If you have to leave a pet and it's with somebody else, bring them, come visit.
Okay,
got it.
We've had goats and dogs and chickens and
Who doesn't love a goat,
So
right?
when we're talking cats and dogs, we're talking goats and chickens.
I mean, we're in Warren County. There's farms, right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's great.
Keep it interesting.
That's great.
That is
But
keeping
again,
it
that's an
interesting.
important point for a lot of people, one way or the
Yeah.
other.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So go sit out back and have the dog, Absolute. That's great.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let me just ask you, is there another fun fact, a story about a resident or something
gosh.
that you can share, share with us?
Or not about a
she's-
resident, right?
About,
But just a fun fact or
Fun
fun
fact.
story.
Gosh, put me on the spot. Like white wall
well,
when you ask
that's
a question
okay.
like that.
I think the fact that you brought goats in is that's what drew my mind there. I'm like, wow, do they have like goat yoga or what?
No, we have not done that.
I can do
but-
that for you. I'm
You
a
do?
yoga
Yeah.
instructor.
Well, and we
Goat-
know the lady that brings the
yoga
goats.
right here.
There we
Well,
go.
there we go. Goat yoga.
Soon to
outside.
come. All right.
Soon.
And
Yeah.
I'll just take pictures.
Yeah.
And laugh.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, Lindsay, that we have not covered that you'd like to share?
Not that I can think of. It's very involved. We have a really great team. It's all about the culture. We want to keep positive spirit, and especially like all through COVID, that's what we just kept saying. Things were really awkward at times and never knew what was coming down the pipe again with regulations and stuff. But if we could just bring our residents joy every day, that was what it was all about.
Nice.
So,
That's nice.
it's all about just keeping that positivity and praising God for where we're at and that we have the opportunity to serve the residents every day. So,
I love that.
I love the
Yeah.
focus on joy.
yeah.
I love that.
100%. Well, thank you, Lindsay,
Yeah.
for joining us today. We're really grateful that you sat down with us. You've got a beautiful, beautiful home here for these residents, and we look forward to, seeing what, things that you do here and all the expansion that's going to happen for you guys in the future.
Yeah,
Can you tell
for that.
everybody how to reach you?
Yes, obviously check us out online. You can search Optimize Senior Living. Just search on Google or check us out on Facebook. We like to post a lot about what's going on every day on Facebook. You can find events and just the day-to-day living that happens there. Or you can also call us, again, the number's on there, but 701-9218, and you can reach anybody on our team that way.
And they reach you at Optimized Senior Living.
Yes, optimized, like with a D at the end, or
Optimized
past
with a
tense.
D at the
Yeah.
end. And know that if you are watching this on YouTube and not as a podcast, all this information will be at the end of the podcast for you, so you can find it there.
And we'll take some great photos as well to share.
Yes, we
Put
will.
it out there on our YouTube
We will, because
page.
it's just truly beautiful. And remember, Dena and I are here to help get you started. We can connect you to the resources to help you with where do I go, where do I begin. Lindsay mentioned resources about helping you explore the right options for you. Dena and I can put you in connection with those options, and then also help you with the side of it of if you have a home to sell, what do you need to do with your current home, and we can help guide you with that too.
Thank
Awesome.
you,
Well,
Lindsay.
Lindsay,
Thank you so
thanks. We
much.
greatly appreciate, we love being here, greatly appreciate you.
This was fun. All
Thanks.
right, thank you.
Lindsey, thank you so much for joining us today in your lovely home. I do want to give everybody a reminder. Lindsey welcomes everybody to come on out and tour one of their lovely homes, just so that you can see it for yourself and better understand this lifestyle option.
Yeah, and as many of our listeners will at some point, just as ourselves, have to make these tough decisions about transitioning our loved ones or even ourselves as we're thinking about those stages in life. Chris and I are here to help you with those decisions, and we're here to help offer resources to you so we can hook you up with the right people, we can guide you through the process, and we can help getting that family house sold if that's the decision that is right for your family. So reach out to us and we would be happy to help with those decisions.
Yeah. Just to let all of you know too, I've been through this. I have had to help some family members transition to.
You've had a lot of that in the last few years, haven't you?
And what I love is that each person selected a different option that fit them. So, whether it be the independent living that we helped Tom's parents go to, my parents for a while were in assisted living. After my father passed, my mom actually moved back out on her own.
Yeah.
And again, it's all about that lifestyle that they want to live. So, we do have that personal connection to it. We've been through it. And I don't have the answers for people. Just let me say it is a very personalized decision. And I love that we have the concept that we have seen today in this home to offer to people and make that suggestion.
Yeah, come on out, reach out to Lindsey at Optimized Senior Living. I think that you'll be really surprised at what you'll see here, because it is conceptually very different than what we are used to seeing here in Cincinnati.
So moving on to real estate, real talk.
What have we got today?
It is July. Yes. And sometimes in July, we start to see a little transition in the market. We have been hearing for so long, there's been this emphasis on the lack of inventory, the lack of houses to buy. And yet, I think we're forgetting to focus on the fact that there are houses on the market.
There are still homes out there that are transacting and selling, and people are buying and moving and transitioning, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes. And so, I've had a couple of things that have hit me this week where I have one client who we haven't found the perfect house for them to move forward with yet. But yet, I will tell you, in their queue of homes, there's probably 50 homes on the market that they could consider.
Yeah.
And so that kind of triggered us for this type of conversation.
Yeah. So we'll look at the inventory levels today. We thought we'd just kind of give you a snippet of different price categories and the days on market and just what's going on a very high level. And of course, whatever you're in need of, we're happy to get more specific for you if you wanted to reach out to us. So just looking at, for example, that $100,000 to $200,000 price category, there are 339 homes on the market currently. So that's in all of the Cincinnati MLS.
Yeah.
So that's the greater Cincinnati area.
So, it may not be the area specifically that you're looking for or the amenities you want. And maybe there needs to be a adjustment to what somebody's looking for. But there are 339 homes on the market in that price range. 324
are active. There are 15 coming soons. So that's something to look at also, is these coming soons that we always kind of have in the queue and get a little bit of a heads up or a leg up on before they actually hit the market. And the average days on market in that price category is 35. So some are selling day one, some are sticking around a little bit longer than others.
Yeah, and that gives you that consideration time to at least consider it.
Right.
It's interesting because I was talking with somebody the other day, and they, of course, were talking about the homes that are going under contract within hours with 20 offers. And I pointed out to that person, that's not always the case, but those are the people who are talking. And so
That's exactly
if
right.
these, you know, we've got 330 something homes in this price range, 35 days on market, not every home is going under contract in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Next price range we thought was pertinent was that $200,000 to $350,000 price range. Currently in that price range, there's 468 homes on the market.
That's a lot of homes on the market.
That's a lot of homes on the market.
It's a broad price category, but there's a good chunk of homes there that are currently active listings.
Yeah. You know, and some of these, as a consideration, are new construction. I think there's about 54 in that group that are new construction. The rest are all existing homes. And so again, giving you some nice options. The days on market in this range is about 41.
41 days on market.
Yeah.
So again, to Chris's point, some houses are, you know, flying off the shelf, right? But then others are sticking around. Some of them get price reductions for different reasons. So yeah, there's a lot of homes on the market in that price category.
Mm-hmm.
The next category we looked at was the 350 to 500. And a little bit less in terms of the actives. There were 284 on the market in that 350 to 500 category. I found that interesting. 268 were active listings, 16 are coming soon, and 82 is the days on market. So the days on market is a little bit higher.
Yeah, I find that interesting.
Yeah.
I do have buyers in this price range, and I do find it is a compelling market, and maybe that's because of what we're looking for specifically, but also there, you know, the homes that there are only 284 versus the little bit higher in the price ranges lower than this. Hey, if you are in that consideration of the 500,000 to $1 million, there's 442 homes on the market. So again,
that's a
bigger range.
But there's a lot of homes on the market.
There's a lot of homes on the market. There's a lot of new construction that is in the MLS at this price range, about 187 of those.
That's pretty key. I thought that was pretty noteworthy.
That's a chunk.
There's a lot. And just a couple weeks ago, we did a podcast with Heather at Fisher Homes. So there is a lot of new construction going on in the area, if that's the decision that's right for you as well.
And what I found interesting about that new construction is, you know, sometimes people think that the new construction is all the outskirts of the city, you know, your Mason, your Liberty Township, which is the case, but East End has a lot of new construction going on. Blue Ash. You wouldn't think it, but there certainly are a lot of tear downs and new things happening there. Right. So that new construction is all over, not just focused on one particular area.
Yeah. The one thing we should mention also, just in looking at all of these stats, we looked at single family and we looked at condominiums also. So some of these might be condos. Blue Ash has a lot of those going up as well.
That Oakley area has pockets of condos going up. Beautiful
Oakley,
pockets.
Marymount. Yeah, absolutely. And then the last category we looked at was $1 million and up. And in that category, we have 102 active listings in the Cincinnati area. There were actually no coming soons, but there are 102 active listings. 34 of those are new construction. And as you mentioned, those areas of new construction are really kind of broad and all over the city. They are in Mason, they are in Liberty Township, but they're also in Indian Hill.
Montgomery
has
this price range.
East, like Anderson Township. So really all over town, Hyde Park. There are pockets all over our city where you know, you can find this price category and you can find new construction.
So I guess our point of sharing all of this information, I know we've given you a lot of stats and a lot of numbers, but what we want to do is encourage you because, again, we've heard the doomsday that you can't put your home on the market because there's nowhere to move. There are places to move. And so as always, Dena and I would love to help guide you through that as to what is the best decision for you, quote, moving forward.
Yeah, we're happy to help. Just reach out to Chris and I, and we'd love to help talk to you about the situation that's best for you and how to help you transition to new construction or whatever it is that is that stage in life.
Yeah. Well, that's all for House and Home Chat, Real Estate Real Talk with Dena and Chris. Thank you for joining us today, and we will look forward to our next episode where we have Tom Capano of Pillar to Post joining us to help with inspection and home care.
That should be a good one. Thanks everyone for listening in. Thanks for watching us on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.